Everybody, welcome to the stream. Welcome to my Back to the Future model kit stream. Yep, I'm going to continue with this hand cam stream where I build this plastic kit, model kit builds. I don't know how long it will take for this one. Maybe it'll take one or two streams. I did the Voltron stream last time, and it took me like 3 streams, but since this one is only one object, I guess, maybe it'll be shorter. But yeah, today we'll be attempting to build this. The DeLorean from Back to the Future. Yeah, I never actually owned a DeLorean Back to the Future model, even though I guess I've been a fan of the movies ever since I was a kid. Like, I grew up in the 80s. I was born in 83, so technically the movie came out after I was born, but obviously I was way too young to have seen it on release. And I don't really remember exactly when I saw it. I knew I was a kid, and I don't even remember if I saw them in the right order. I might have watched them like whenever they were like on TV or something, so probably much later than when they were released, like around early 90s instead of in the 80s. I never actually owned the VHSs of them. I don't remember if we rented them. I do own the DVD box set now, all 3 movies. Now I do own all of them. And even though I didn't own Back to the Future, like a proper model, way back in the day, I did make this. So it's a kind of a papercraft model. It's just of the Part 2 version of the DeLorean. Very simple. I mean, there are other papercraft models of the DeLorean that are way more complex. This one was just like a flat thing. I just folded, cut in one piece, then folded and glued and made the wheels. Can't really see it. Oh. But yeah, after today, I'm finally gonna have a proper DeLorean model. Hopefully. And I figured might as well, I don't know, if while I was building it, maybe I would talk about the movie, maybe some fan theories about how time travel works in the movies, within the context of the movies. Hi there. So yeah, let's see. There you go. This is my setup, hand cam. And like before, my tool of choice is just this. I don't have the proper model kit building tools like the pliers and the files and everything. I just use this, the X-Acto knife, to cut and to trim everything. I don't remember. I probably did not watch the movies in order. I think I might have seen number 2 and 3 before 1. But I do remember when I was a kid, I kind of, you know that thing when you watch a movie and you kind of get influenced by it, you want to be like the characters from the movies or something. I do remember way back when I was a kid, there was a time when I would write down on journals like little simple activities, what I had done that day or something. But I made sure to write down the exact time and date when I did it, just because Doc Brown was very adamant about keeping track of dates of events down to the very last minute and second. So there was a short period in my life, I think, of probably influenced by this movie, where I would make notes of that. Probably in my storage or something, there's a journal or something with all the exact time and date of what I did back then. Of course, I grew out of it very quickly. It was a lot of work to keep doing that, but it was kind of a fun thing to infect. Okay, take all this, taking all the plastic. Oh, we got the main body, a bunch of smaller pieces. Okay, I think these are stickers. Yeah, I usually don't like like painting models, not really my thing. I mean, I understand that a lot of people love buying unpainted models and then painting them. I just like building them. So, you know, I prefer if most of the details are either already printed on or are stickers, so that I don't have to paint it myself. And yeah, because this is an imported model kit, most of the instructions are in Japanese. I think I can handle it. In black and white. Yikes. This one, yeah. Voltron ones were in color, but the instructions here are all black and white. But let's see. Hopefully, I can make it work. Let's see where is. Okay. See where we start. I'm already a little confused about some parts of the instructions. I think they're just. Oh, I think they're just telling where the stickers go. Okay, here we go. I think this is the beginning of the assembly. We're starting from the bottom, I guess. We won't be using this just yet. This away. A1. I wonder how many people have not seen the movie up to this day. I mean, a lot of people maybe probably not grew up with it, because maybe they didn't know about it, but they've probably seen a lot of the pop culture influences, like references and stuff. Maybe they didn't even know where it was from. Okay. So yeah, if you haven't seen the movie, I'm probably going to be discussing events from the movie. It's going to be spoiler heavy. This is A1. Oh, the label of the plastic runner is very small, very tiny, but well, as long as I can read it. Can't really tell, but there's actually kind of low light environment here in my room, because I have the lights focused on my face. Otherwise you'd be a big strong light on top of me. Makes it a little hard to see sometimes. Instructions and labels. Alright, first plastic opened. Kind of worried that there are a lot of very tiny and very thin pieces. Look at this. Hopefully I won't make like a mistake or bend them or break them while cutting them. Okay, I think we start from this. Can't really see it, but it's the A1 runner. Kind of conflicted, because sometimes, I don't know, sometimes doing this kind of work is sometimes relaxing, sometimes stressful. I feel like doing model kit building, you can kind of distract yourself, forget about a lot of issues, and just focus on following the instructions. Very simple activities that you don't have to overthink. You just, okay. You just kind of keep your hands busy, your mind busy. So if you're like suffering from anxiety or something, sometimes I feel like this can be like a sort of therapy. But in a way, it can also be a little anxiety-inducing as well. Okay, the plastic kind of feels very different from the Voltron plastic. Wonder what like the composition is. It's probably a different material, but different kind of plastic. Feels like more, I don't know, less flexible or something. Or maybe it's just this one runner. I use the X-Acto knife to kind of saw off the pieces instead of using clippers. I try to saw off as close to the piece as possible. I don't have to then scrape off any excess. But like, yeah, with clippers, there's always going to be a little bit extra. A little bit extra when you use pliers. So you're always going to have to file them off or cut them out or something. But with this, there's always a chance that you will be able to make a clean cut and not have any excess bits. On the other hand, there's also a good chance that the knife will escape and cut my finger. It kind of happened on the part and the ending of the Voltron model kit stream part 1. Well, don't worry, I'll be careful. I learned my lesson, and parts 2 and 3 of that kit did not have any incidents. Left. There we go. We got the bottom of the car. Check for any bits. I think I got most of it. Now comes the part where you get to see all my forehead up close, because I do this. I prefer doing this, looking over my glasses, so I have better vision up close. And here, this area is more illuminated. Kind of cool that I think most people who have seen the Back to the Future trilogy consider like one of the few perfect trilogies. I think the only two that I can think of right now is Back to the Future trilogy and the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Any other movie trilogies that you could consider the perfect trilogy or something? Or is it just these two? Even people, yeah, the movies really do hold up. Even people who watch them like today, like in this year or something, they still regard it as fantastic movies. It's not like it's just, oh, only people from that time enjoyed them. No, still do. It can still have an effect on people, no matter when they watch. Just like I say with playing older games, and same thing with watching older movies. It's never too late to get into them. They don't. Okay, 811, got it. A1. 13 and 12. Wait. That's A17 PH12? A113 PH12? What does that mean? Yeah, this is A1 and... Okay, so then... There's two numbers. One number in a circle, another number in a square. H57. Oh, the PH might be stickers. Like, oh, this is part A113 and sticker 12 goes on it. Could be. Maybe it's a good idea to attach the stickers as I build instead of afterwards, like I did with the Voltron build. Oh. Okay. Where'd that sticker sheets are over there? Let me check. A1. 13. It's small. I think this piece is gonna go into another, so it'll be. Make sure there's no bits remaining. Okay. Wait. 13 and 7. So about how the time travel works in the movies. I mean, I remember seeing a long time ago, like some theories about what exactly happened with the timelines. Some people online would say, "Oh, there are two different timelines. One with the original timeline with Marty's parents." Being all, I guess, subjecting themselves to Biff Tannen's abuse, not being very confident. And then there's the second timeline when he makes them more confident and they change their whole attitudes. And I remember some blog or article or something telling how unfortunate it is, because they claimed, at least, that when the original Marty went back and into this new timeline, the Marty that grew up in that new timeline would have gone back to his old timeline, so he would have actually, I don't know, made his parents' lives worse. So they kind of like switched places, and honestly, I don't think that's what happened. I don't think. Why would he like make his parents' lives worse just by, I don't know, not rescuing his father and making his father get hit instead of him, and turning the new timeline back into the original? I don't know, kind of a crisscrossing loop where maybe the second timeline's Marty causes the first timeline's Marty's parents to be that way, but then the first timeline's Marty goes back and causes the second timeline's parents to be that way. It's like two interlocking loops. No, I don't think that's what happened, because, well, there's the whole grandfather paradox thing in time travel, where, you know, if you go back in time and try to kill your own grandfather, then you're never born. Then if you're never born, then how do you go back in time and kill your grandfather so your grandfather lives? So because you were never born, you could never kill your grandfather, so he lives, so you are born. So it's like, okay, that's a paradox. You can't have two contradicting truths existing at the same time. And one of the solutions of the grandfather paradox is the multiverse theory, where every time you go back in time, you actually go into another diverting universe, where just by being there, you automatically create a split universe from your own. Your own universe still exists, but the alternative universe that you just created, where you exist, now exists parallel to the original one. So if you do kill your grandfather, you don't exist in that universe, but since you came from a different universe, that doesn't create a paradox. Because the grandfather from the original universe still exists and still gave birth to your father, and still, well, he still fathered your father, and your father fathered you. But yeah, if that were the case in Back to the Future, if it was a multiverse thing, there would be no disappearing picture. The picture came from the original timeline. If it was from an alternate universe, it would not change, but just by him affecting his parents' meeting and falling in love. This blank piece of paper. And he wouldn't be at risk of disappearing. Which I actually think he should not be disappearing as well, but that's for another reason. There are a couple of things in the movie that I think kind of don't work. I think there are some statements made that contradict other events from the movie. But I'll get to those later. But yeah, in the case of Back to the Future, I think there are no multiverses. There's just one timeline that kind of gets overwritten every time someone makes a change. Though you kind of have to wonder, what does it feel like to be in a timeline when it gets overwritten? Kind of creepy to wonder about, you know, when Marty is in the past and he's seeing his brother's photograph disappearing. What is the brother feeling in the present? Is he feeling like weak, and is he getting transparent and almost fading, and then does he fade completely, just like Marty started feeling at the end of the movie? Like, oh no. Okay, so check the stickers if they match. So E13 would be sticker 12. Peace. This part being the front. The sticker 12 match this. No, sticker 12 is a tiny circle, so it is not. Has nothing to do with it. What does the 12 mean anyway? PH12. Oh, there's another PH12 here. Is this just the material, the color? Yeah, A17 and A1. Yeah, both have PH12. I think that might just be the cover, not the color, and not the sticker. Color guide. Oh yeah, it says here, P is paint. Body color PH8. Yeah, these are the paint instructions. So it is, if in case I wanted to, I don't know, make it actual silver color or something, paint it in a silver metallic color. It would be, oh, this has to be this color, this part has to be this color. So because I'm not doing any painting, I'm just going to be using the stickers. I'm gonna ignore this, the the paint guide numbers. Okay. Wait, which part is the front again? Kinda looks... both looks the same. Okay, this... This is the back. This is the front. So this gets inserted like this. I imagine they're doing this to make so the front wheels can change, kind of like back in the day. I would make like Lego sets that I would use like Lego Technique sets, and then they would have a little arrow indicating which part is the front. They would some of the Lego Technique settings would have like cars that you could turn the wheels, and that would turn the steering wheel, and that would turn the car wheels. I think this thing is supposed to like slide around. You'd have like one part sliding and another part. One part of the wheels would be connected by 2 points. One point would be fixed. The other 2 points would be connected to this sliding thing, so that they would slide it. Is it inside this gap? How does this work? No. Well, it says to just put this piece here, but the piece isn't really attached. How do I get it on the other side? That's kind of weird. Well, this kind of works. Oh. We'll leave it at that so far. Okay, now to make the base of the wheels. So yeah, I think like in the movies, there's only one timeline that gets overwritten, kind of like a movie tape, VHS tape, that if you record over it, then whatever was on the tape before it's completely erased. I don't know how it feels to be a person that gets overwritten. I mean, like, what happens if one person was dead, then become alive, or the person who was alive becomes dead? Kind of weird to imagine that, and their memory is getting overwritten or something. I do feel like that there is a kind of a way where like the person who is doing the time travel, there's a kind of a way to explain why their memories don't get overwritten. Like in the end of the movie, Marty is surprised to see his new parents, but why would he? I mean, if they got overwritten and changed into the new timeline, why didn't he change and become the new Marty from the new timeline, and with all the memories of being raised by those parents? I feel like in the movie, there's probably like some universal rule or something that if you become a time traveler, you become detached from your original timeline. So you're no longer like immediately affected by changes in the timeline, which is kind of weird, because I feel like at least okay, his brother and sister, you'd understand them disappearing, but if his parents never meet, but then why would he disappear? If he's not being directly affected by the changes in the original timeline, you know? Kind of weird. So that's just like one inconsistency. I feel like, I mean, I get why he would be disappearing, make the movie more suspenseful. I mean, you kind of have to sometimes suspend disbelief a little bit and understand, okay, they made this not because it's internally consistent, but because it makes for a better story, you know? So you kind of have to understand that. It's, not get too gripe about it, but it is still something that I feel like contradicts I guess I can understand, like, you kind of another thing that the movies kind of do a lot is if you have a printed medium that has information about the future, and you change the timeline, the printed medium changes, but the object itself, where the print was made, does not change. Like, his picture was of his brother and sister the brother and sister disappearing from the picture, I understand, but why is the picture still there? Did someone take a picture of the empty area without anyone there? That's why the picture still exists? Like, wouldn't the object itself also disappear or something? Kind of weird. Or maybe it would have if Marty ever did disappear completely and his parents never had children. They would never go to that place where the picture was taken. They would never have taken the picture, and the picture itself would never exist. It's kind of funny. I mean, I understand with newspapers, they do that a lot, where they get a newspaper that has a news from that day, and when they change the timeline, the news of that day changes. But yeah, of course, the paper would still exist. It would just be another news, another piece of news. Coincidentally, from the same subject, but but the physical paper itself, you can understand still existing, even if in a different timeline. Okay, let me check. A1, A2, A1, 9, A1, 8, 9 and 8. Where is A1? Okay, I gotta make sure to keep the left and right wheels separate, so right wheel is A1, 9. Yeah, I'm gonna have to stop talking every now and then to focus on the building part. Then you can go back to discussing how the physics of time travel works. I mean, obviously, I can only use events from the movies to kind of prove my points, because it doesn't matter how time travel works in other movies, and we can't really compare with real life. We don't have any real life time machines, so there's no reference points. The only reference point is the movie itself, so you can kind of only argue about the movie's internal logic conflicting with itself and not with anything in real life. You can kind of see this is the what's it called in English? The gear shifting? Yeah, the gear shift lever. Very tiny. Yeah. Another thing that kind of worries about me this build is a lot of tiny pieces. And the Voltron piece was a little safer, I guess, because it was a little bigger. Okay, so Might as well get started on E2. Is this A2? Yes. A25. You're gonna have to put a lot of stuff close to my head like this because it's kind of hard to see sometimes. Not only because of how small it is, but because of how it's not very well lit where I am. This piece feels, I feel like, is a little more flexible than the other plastic. Yeah, this definitely, even though they look the same, the two colors are kind of the same, they feel different. One feels more brittle, more hard, and this one feels more soft and flexible. Yeah, if you're going with the theory that you have only one timeline that gets overwritten when you make changes to the timeline, and also you kind of have to wonder there about what's called closed time loops. Like if there are some like time travel stories that do this whole closed time loop thing where any changes you make to the timeline were changes that you were meant to do all along. So you kind of can never actually change the timeline because whatever you do in the past is something that already happened. So you're kind of just making things happen as they're supposed to. That's what I would call like a closed time loop. Like whatever you go back and you do something, that's because you had already done in the past of that timeline. You're not changing the timeline. You're just repeating what already happened. But in an open time loop, then you'd have like a timeline where something happened where you didn't do anything, but then you go back and you change it, and then you create a new loop, create a new time loop. But the original event still happened. It kind of happens. You kind of see that in what you call having an idea be in a loop. Like if you, I don't know, go back in time and you tell Einstein about the theory of relativity, and then you go back to the future. Well, who invented the theory of relativity then? Because you learned from Einstein, but Einstein learned from you having gone back in time and telling him about it. So where did the original idea come from? You know, if it's a closed loop, it came from nowhere. Because you like when in Ocarina of Time, the Nintendo 64 game, there's the Song of Storms, where the guy in the future, he's mad because some kid played this song, so he plays you the song that he's mad about, and you learn the song, but then you go back in time when he was younger and he didn't know the song, and you play it. So he learned the song from you, but you learned the song from him in the future. So where did the song come from? Where did the Song of Storms originate? That is a closed loop, where the music has no origin point. And yeah, if it was an object, like there have been a couple movies where you'd have an object that you get from someone in the past, but then you go back in time and you give that same object to the person, and the person then, through the normal course of time, gives the same object to you. Well, you have the same object going infinitely in multiple cycles, through time, going forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. So how old is the object? It's like, will the object just disintegrate immediately because if it's suddenly infinity years old? kind of weird to think about. I mean, with an idea, with a song or theory of relativity, okay, ideas can survive indefinitely, but an object, with each loop, it gets a little bit older. So like, what? How is it going to survive? At some point, is going to break and going to change the timeline, and at some point break the loop. So when you go back in the future, who knows how many loops that object has been in, and suddenly it broke, and now it can't go back in time, and now you change the timeline where the object does not get returned. So now where did the object come from? If in that new timeline where it broke, you could not bring it back, like now the object will suddenly disappear. Very confusing. But in the case of this is the case of closed time loops where you can't affect a timeline because it's already happened, and you can't make it any different because it would, I don't know, create a paradox. But in the case of Back to the Future, I think they do have open loops. They start with things happening without any changes, but then you go back and you change something, even if I don't know, with Marty given the idea of the guy to become mayor, for example, he inspires him to become mayor. In the original timeline, he got inspired to become mayor on his own. So it's kind of like at some points you make a change, but you kind of don't make a change because you're just creating an event that would have happened anyway. With the music as well, the Johnny B. Good music, there's a joke that, his cousin Marvin Berry, Marvin Berry phones his cousin Chuck Berry, so shows him the music, so Chuck Berry gets inspired to make Johnny B. Good, but then Marty hears Johnny B. Good, so where did Johnny B. Good come from? They originally came from him without any inspiration, but he kind of made a change where he gets inspired, but it doesn't really make a difference because he would have created it anyway. Okay, so let me check here. Is this an extra bit or is this something important? I gotta actually check this. Oh, I feel like yeah, this might be an extra bit. I don't know why they do that. Sometimes not the first time I've seen a model kit have an extra bit that is not connected to the runner. Like why not make it stop where you're supposed to? Why make this extra bit? I don't know why. But yeah, it looks like, yeah, definitely this piece needs to be cut. This, yeah. So you have this like original timeline where without any interference from any time travelers, things happen anyway. And I don't know, maybe I should call that the original timeline, the Twin Pine Malls timeline, because everyone who's seen the movie kind of likes to point that out to anyone watching the movie that, did you notice that in the end of the movie, the shopping mall that was originally called Twin Pine Malls becomes Lone Pine Mall because when Marty went back in time, he killed one of the pines of the farmer who lived there. So maybe that new timeline would be the Lone Pine Mall timeline. Lone Pine Mall timeline, and the original timeline would be the Twin Pine Malls timeline. So in the original timeline, the Twin Pine Malls timeline, Doc didn't know Marty 30 years ago, and so he was never warned about his destiny. That means in the original timeline, in the beginning of the movie, Doc actually did die from the bullets, from being shot. He was actually dead in that scene. Kind of freaky. This connects to this, like this. Gotta make sure they're in the right positions. This. Okay. Okay, let me put this on this side because this is the right wheel. The right front wheel, I should say, right? Yeah. Maybe I'll just put this like this. Here. Keep track, there we go. Now the left wheel. A26. And because when in the movie, until the end of the movie, Doc did not do any time traveling. The only one who did any time traveling was Einstein, the dog, and Marty. Only until the very end. So when the timeline gets overwritten, Doc also gets overwritten. So he has no memory of. The Doc in that timeline has no memory of not meeting Marty 30 years ago. He has no memory of dying. He would not know that he died in the original timeline. But I guess the dog knew. The dog would know. If the dog could speak, he would say, "Hey, the Doc was dead and now he's alive." Because the timeline would have changed around him. Kind of weird to think about. I guess the dog would not be affected by the changes of the timeline. But Doc would, because he was not a time traveler at that point. E18. But then when he did time travel at the end of the movie, now he's also part of this club of people who have time traveled, so they become detached from the timeline, so any changes to the timeline will no longer affect their memories. Maybe even not affect them. So I guess by the end of the movie, the only people who did any time traveling were Doc, the dog, Marty, Jennifer, old Biff Tannen, and I guess his wife and child by the very end. But yeah, kind of a very small number of people who would not get affected by timeline changes anymore because they time traveled for the first time. I feel like that the movie never actually says that, but I feel like that is based on how things work, how things develop in the movie. you can kind of infer that that is a rule. But then the movie itself kind of contradicts that rule because of how at the end of Marty almost disappearing. Why would he? Like, I understand from a timeline continuity point of view, like you get, if you never existed, then you would never go back in time. So where did you come from? Once you enter a timeline from into the past, and you change it so it never existed, now it's like you suddenly appeared out of nowhere. If you erase your own existence, so the only way that would still work if you got erased along with your existence, even though I guess the progression of the timeline kind of goes into the future, but then follows you back in time. So it's like you're always connected to the timeline, at least in other stories. I feel like in Back to the Future, you're not always connected to the timeline, depending whenever. Doesn't matter where you go, you're always kind of your own history has to still exist, or something. I don't know. I feel like in Back to the Future, he shouldn't be disappearing because there should be this idea where, okay, once you get out of the timeline, even though you erased your existence in the timeline, but there is an old timeline that where you did exist, so you kind of still have a history, but even though it's outside of that current time. I don't know, maybe that's something for fifth dimensional beings or something, where they can see not just time itself as one singular thing, but maybe they can also see timelines being changed across, I don't know what you would call super time, a time above time, where you can see, okay, this timeline was this, but then before it was that, and then it became that. Like, what would you call before and after outside of time? Like for us, obviously watching the movie, we can know, okay, this timeline used to be that, but then it became that. There's a before and after for a timeline, but for the people in the timeline, there is no before and after. There's only that timeline. It would be like for someone watching time from outside of time. And I guess you can only do that if you are a fourth dimensional or fifth dimensional being. You can observe time as from an outside point of view. In that case, because people outside of time can observe that, they could see, okay, the grandfather paradox would not be a paradox, because you could actually change your past so you never existed, but because you existed in a previous timeline, your history, your own personal history, is kind of preserved, even though you're no longer in that new timeline, but you are in the past of that timeline. It's kind of weird to think about. Although you kind of wonder, like, even if, let's say, in the movies, Marty did disappear at the end of that, at the end of the movie, let's say he failed, would people remember him? Would Doc remember him having existed before he disappeared, or did he disappear from the entire timeline, even from before he disappeared? It's kind of another thing that I feel like the movie contradicts itself. That's from Back to the Future too, but the Doc says if there's a paradox, it could unravel the space-time continuum and destroy the entire universe, or maybe just our own galaxy. I feel like the universe should not be that fragile. I don't know. Imagine if you are, I don't know. Imagine if some alien civilization in another planet, all in completely different. You're completely oblivious. You're just living your life on Earth, but because some scientist in some alien planet decides to create a time machine, he creates a paradox, and then suddenly this other being from this other world causes the space-time continuum to unravel and destroys the universe, and all of a sudden, what happened? I was just standing here, and the universe suddenly got destroyed because of what someone alien did in another part of the galaxy. What? Imagine. Because if you think about it, the only reason Doc created time travel, it's because it should be physically possible to create time travel. It's something that the universe would allow him to do, right? He can't really be breaking the laws of physics. Within the context of the movie, he uses just regular science too. There's no magic involved. There's no metaphysics or paranormal. It's just regular science. So it should be within the laws of the physical laws of the universe to allow time travel to occur. And he's just tapping into that, and I guess anyone could have done that. Any aliens, any alien scientists, any worlds could have done that, and the universe would not be destroyed. So I feel like even if you did create a time paradox, that would not destroy the universe. So that's I guess one part where Doc is wrong. And also how sometimes there's a delayed reaction to future changing timelines. I feel like there's some parts of the movie where, okay, you did something that's changed it, but then you only see the effects later. Like you see that in all three movies, I feel like. But in the original one, I feel like that's very delayed. Like in the second movie, it happens almost immediately. You changed what the sun did in the future, so the paper from a couple days in the future, as soon as Griff's gang crashes, immediately you see the paper change, like a few seconds after. But in the case of the first movie, when he makes his parents not meet, it takes like several days for the picture to change. Why didn't they disappear immediately? Why didn't he disappear immediately? Like as soon as it should be, like once he pushed George out of the way, poof, that's immediate paradox. Because then, yeah, you have that thing. Okay, if he didn't exist, then he would not have been able to go back in time to prevent his own existence. But if he didn't prevent his own existence, then he would exist, and then we go back. So that's like immediate paradox as soon as he pushed his dad out of the way. But I feel like maybe the universe gave him a chance to fix the paradox, or not, maybe like conscientiously. I don't think there's a conscience deciding that but maybe the physical repercussions, for some reason, they were not immediate. Maybe because there was that deadline, I guess, of their kiss in the enchantment of the sea dance, where as long as they kissed before that or during that, everything would be okay. But if they didn't do it, then things would not be okay, or things would be different. Or maybe because the timeline was always like kind of uncertain. Maybe it took so long for the picture to fade, the people in the picture to fade, because of this kind of vagueness of what could happen. Because you think about, okay, the time would already be changed, so immediately he would have failed and he would already be gone. But because his actions are kind of influences on state of the timeline, that kind of creates, I guess, a feedback loop where that kind of delayed the reaction of the timeline changing. Because if he didn't see his pictures, his brother's pictures, his siblings' pictures fading, maybe he wouldn't have worried about the consequences of his parents not meeting. And if you think about it, okay, why could they only meet until that point? I mean, he had the whole 30 years to make them fall in love again, but then I guess if they didn't fall in love within that time period, maybe they would have had other children, or he would have been born a year later or something if they took too long to make them fall in love. And then they would be a completely different person or something. Then again, his siblings are kind of different people. I don't know. Like, yeah, kind of weird that the universe kind of decided that in order for his brother, sister, and himself to still exist, his parents had to kiss at least until that point, until the dance. Even if they did still fall in love afterwards, it wouldn't count, because then they would be different. His family would be different. Even though his family did end up being slightly different, but they still. It's kind of weird that even with his dad being more confident and changing his personality, they still had the exact amount of kids in the exact same years. Didn't change who was older, who was younger, or how many children there were. So maybe there's like some kind of leeway. Okay, you can change this, a little bit of this, but not too much. Because even if you change this a little bit, there's still a chance where some of the events would still occur when they were supposed to occur. But if you change too much, if they didn't kiss by that time, then the changes would be too much, and you'd have a paradox. But as long as within that time period they fell in love, you could still have your same family as you did before. I feel like maybe that's the reason why in the first movie there was this long delay of the picture fading over several days, almost a week, instead of changing immediately. So it's like, yeah, okay, you because of the conditions of causality, you had this this kind of period where you could still change things, making them back to normal. Hmm. 821. A1. Where's A28? But yeah, it would be kind of weird to if he did disappear but they still remember that he existed. Like, why did he disappear there? And yeah, there's another kind of contradiction in the movie at the end where his father, like, he already punched Biff and his mother was already into him, but then this other guy cut him off. But then he decided on his own to go back and kiss his mother. So, like, why wouldn't the timeline have already been fixed because he did that? Like, what made him change his mind that made the timeline change so that Marty would stop disappearing? Like, wasn't that meant to happen or something? Unless there is one way to resolve that conflict, and that is if somehow Marty's playing badly, I don't know, made him look at Marty and made him change his mind about going back to his mom. The dad made the dad look at Marty, and that made him change his mind and go back to his mom. And okay, then that would explain why only after he went back and kissed his mom, then now he suddenly feels better. Now he's not despairing anymore. Even because maybe that wasn't always meant to happen. But then the only way for that to make any sense would be if somehow Marty still influenced his father to change his mind and go back to his mom, and then the timeline got repaired, got fixed, and everyone started existing again. Am I wrong? If you look at that scene, why would he still be disappearing if his dad was always going to go back and kiss the mom? Unless him disappearing provoked his dad kiss the mom, then it kind of makes sense. But other than that, doesn't really make sense. Because again, as soon as he or maybe because if he disappeared, he wouldn't be able to finish the song, and because he wouldn't be able to finish the song, his dad would not kiss the mom. But then only if he finished only him being able to finish the song was the thing that provoked. And then that still doesn't make sense why he came back. As soon as he started playing, he should already as soon as he started playing the song, and they decided, okay, he's going to be the one to play the music that makes them fall in love. That kind of destiny should have already been set, where they are going to kiss, and so his brother and sister should have already appeared as soon as he started playing. So he should not have started fading. That's within the logic of the movie, of course, but yeah. The way to resolve that would, I mean, like I said, I don't understand why they did it. They created that suspense so that things would look like they were not going to work until the last minute, and then they did. That's just regular movie making storyline. But a way you could make it both work. You could reconciliate, I guess, this conflict, this contradiction, is if the fact that Marty was almost fading made his dad go back and push that guy away from his mom and kiss her. That kind of works. That kind of makes it work. It's kind of fun thought experiment. Just that is not a criticism of the movie. That's not me saying, oh, they should have done it that way, or they should have done this. No, that's just fun to think about how things work based on the little bit of evidence that we have from the movies. Okay, 120 and 21. And 21. These two plastic springs. If I keep talking, I'm going to take a long time to build this. But same dilemma from last stream. Do I focus on building or do I focus on talking? But if I talk too much, then I build very slowly. And if I focus on building, then it's just me silently building. Gotta balance the two things. I do remember also reading maybe it was the one of the actors themselves, or maybe it was Crispin Glover or Michael J. Fox himself, who kind of felt sorry about Marty coming back. I think when they first read the script, kind of felt sorry about Marty coming back to different parents than he remembered. Like, didn't he, in a way, I guess, kind of kill them because they stopped existing in the way that they used to exist, even though they're technically still the same people, but they're different. But if they are, like, if there is just like this continuity where they split in the different timeline, they're still the same person, but they're also not the same person because they're not exactly the same people as you remember. But then again, people are also always changing. Like, you are always learning something new. Maybe you're changing your mindset about something, so you're also, each individual person is not exactly the same person that they used to be. Like, if I learn something new that makes me change my mind, am I killing the version of me that had the previous mindset and replacing myself with a new me that has a new mindset? Kind of weird to think about. No, we're still the same person because we kind of share continuity. We both came from the same history point, so even if we have a different mentality, we're still the same person because we're like tied to the same timeline together. Well, I don't know if it's sad or good that he kind of changed the mentality of his parents. Yeah, even though the parents that he grew up with no longer exist. They are new parents, they are new people with different mentalities, but how is that, I don't know, how is that different from if you have, I don't know, a racist grandfather, but then you teach him to not be racist, so he's not racist anymore. Isn't he a different person as well? He kind of taught his dad to be more confident, but he just did it earlier in time. But he's still his dad, because they kind of share. They kind of share, at least. They might not share the same last 30 years, but the years before the split, I guess, in the timeline, they do share it. So they're kind of the same people, but they have different mentalities. I don't know don't know how you reconcile with that kind of thought. If you go back in time and you like teach a younger version of someone, I don't know, have a different mindset, and then you go back to the present and they're a completely different person, did you kill that person and replace them with a new person? Is that person gone? Is there a different person? Fortunately, we don't have to think about that because time travel doesn't exist, but again, it's all about a thought experiment. What if it did exist? What if that's how things worked? Kind of flimsy connection here. That's really... Yeah, this is supposed to connect in here, but it's not very tight connection. Maybe I'll try. Oops. Okay, that's kind of. Where's the other one? Ah, these little things keep rolling. Okay, here. Okay. It's a little tricky here. maybe I should get this one as well. A11. This one. You're making the connection that makes the wheels turn, but kind of tricky. I hope it doesn't fall apart. Like I remember, I praised the Voltron build that, unlike the Gundam build, the Gundam that I built a long time ago, not on stream, off stream, but parts are kind of like, they're not loose, but they're kind of easy to detach, break apart. If you while you're handling them, they can very easily just pop out of place. But with the Voltron build, I feel like I did handle them. I transformed them and attached them and posed them, and they didn't really pop loose very easily. In that sense, I guess they were well designed. I'm wondering, is this going to be designed the same way? I hope so. I mean, it's not really going to be a lot of handling, because I feel like not a lot of moving parts in the car. Is just, I guess, just the wheels. But still, rather it's not have pieces falling off easily or something. Okay. Still got to do the same thing with the back later. For now, let's see. So this would connect both wheels. Okay. Okay, let me turn this over. Following the instructions here. This is the right wheel. This is the left wheel. This is next to this. Okay. This. Okay. And they go. Hold this in place. Uh-oh. Already having stuff fall apart. Oh dear. And the springs. If things start falling apart like this, I might have to glue them on or something. Yeah, these Ah, it's very, very loose. They're not fitting snugly. What? Yeah. Huh. Look at that. I didn't even touch it. It just fell on its own. Ah. I think I might have to super glue these. I don't know how common this is to have pieces that need to be glued together in these kind of builds, but up until now, well, at least I guess maybe the Gundam I should have super glued them, but this one, up until now they at least fit together well enough where it wasn't completely necessary. One of them do have this kind of symbol where kind of what does this symbol mean? Can you see it? This symbol kind of looks like it means don't put glue on it or something. There's a big bar across what looks like a little brush, little glue brush. I mean, obviously the pivot points should not be glued, but the sliding part will not be glued. But would other pegs be glued? Let me check something. Hang on. Let me. What if when I do this? Does this stay on? Okay, it kind of does. Testing a theory here. I just put these. This the under or over? Yeah, I think there's a space for it to stay under it. Yeah. I feel like I might need to glue this, but tiny amount of glue. Kind of worry. I do very much worry about using super glue. Maybe I shouldn't use super glue. Maybe I should use this regular white glue. I do have a little bit here. So it does take a while to harden, of course, but maybe it's enough to be sticky enough where it doesn't just puff immediately. Then again, I don't know if it's good enough to join pieces of plastic. If there's any instructions on it. The decals are those kind of water-based decals. I hate those. I'd much rather if they were like just regular stickers. You could just peel off and slap on. Yeah, this says does not glue. If they're telling you not glue this one part, I think that would mean other parts you have to glue. Got this. Yeah, there's an explanation of what the symbols mean. Fortunately, it has English parts as well. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna try white glue. If it doesn't work, then I move on to super glue. This regular glue. If this works. I do have some toothpicks. I need to apply just a micro droplet of glue. Way too much. Let's get these out first for now. Okay. It doesn't matter where they put. A slight indentation. I can just put them anywhere. Very unstable, but if I just let it there, maybe I should focus on cutting and building other parts while this dries. And if this glue does not stick to the plastic, then I move, like I said, then I'll move on to super glue. lot more delicate than I expected. Okay. I'm just gonna leave this here. Careful. Yeah, maybe I should. It doesn't look like these two turns, so maybe I should a little bit of glue here as well. It doesn't pop off all the time. Almost empty. I feel like my model kit building skills are not very advanced. That's why I kind of... It's not about the number of pieces or how small the pieces are, but if it needs gluing, if it needs water decals, or if it needs painting, then I feel like those are kind of more advanced than I'm comfortable with. But much prefer models where all you gotta do is just cut the pieces and fit them together. Maybe put on stickers. That's it. Yeah, all this just so I can have a DeLorean. DeLorean model. Okay. Well, while those are setting, maybe I can cut the other pieces of the wheels. The back wheels, yeah. A22. Is this number 2? Yes. This here. Here I was thinking that, oh, this model is simpler. I might end it in one stream. No way. Yeah, this is a little harder. Did I? Almost cut my nail. And cut as close to the surface as possible. Yeah, this harder plastic is much different. Much harder to cut with just the X-Acto knife. Even though it's a new blade that should be sharp, but still a little hard. Want to be careful not to bend the piece too much. Alright. Oof. Okay, so we got this part. Just on one side at a time, just like before. A 2, 3. Like, I don't know if the wheels are supposed to roll. Because this part, they kind of fit with a little peg to make sure that they're in the right orientation. So they're definitely not supposed to roll. But I don't know if the wheels, the tire around this wheelbase is supposed to roll. Not. Maybe not. I mean, probably. For wheels to roll, either would be like an axis that is inside a ring, or it would be like ball bearings or something. I doubt it. So yeah, probably not. This model probably not going to be like a rollable wheels kind of model, unless I don't know, maybe the wheels fit over the base, but they snap onto it, but they're loose enough where they can roll. Not really sure, but I do believe the part that I glued together are not meant to move it, so it'll be fine. Good enough. A114. Oh no, is this already a broken piece or something? What happened here? Oh dear. Might have already accidentally broken a piece without even realizing. This one I think I will need super glue. Oh well, that's for later. Maybe not for later. The next part is supposed to be this one. Oh dear. Took off the wrong part. This off without. Whoa! Fell off. Fortunately, it's just a piece of the runner, so it doesn't matter. Okay. Okay, so this next to this. Oh. Yeah, very loose. Yeah, this one doesn't have a peg where it's supposed to go. Yeah, I might need to glue this part as well. Well. B17. Very small. Look how thin these pieces are. I'd be surprised if I don't break it. Oh boy. So this is supposed to get in here. Where is this? Where does this fit? Here? Under it? Yes. Huh. Okay, weird. Nope, another very loose connection. Might have to glue. Yeah. How's this going? Okay. Okay, not bad. Look, like the glue is holding on. It's not completely falling apart. Maybe I'll do the same with this. Any drop of glue. But it does have a peg. It's the wrong one, wrong way. Okay. See. Uh-huh. Okay. And then this. The good thing about super glue is that it dries quickly. You can also make a mess, and then your fingers are full of crystallized super glue. Very dangerous. I'm not confident enough in my own skills to be using it. On top, and then this opening is on top, and so this way. Okay. This also has to set. Oh boy. Oh boy. Leave it there. Hopefully it doesn't set all crooked. Ah. Already? Didn't even touch it. Yeah. Yeah, this piece was not supposed to have been broken. That was an accident. But that might need super glue, just so it makes sure it's safe. I think it would be not a very important piece. It's not like structurally important, but I don't want to know that there's a missing piece, even if it's in the undercarriage. Ah, there it goes. I think I noticed the side with the peg, otherwise I would have glued this wheel the other way around. Oh. Oh, we already got our first empty runner though. It's kind of a good progress. All of this just so the underside is detailed enough, I guess. Thanks. To make sure this is glued on the right way. This way. Okay, fine, be there. And this part of it. Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna have to be assembling these later when the glue sets. A119, A118. Oops. Damages, right? Yes. 19, 18. More little springs. This side. Make sure they will not mix them up. These might also need to be glued. Oh dear. Wait, this is 19 here. 19 here. Where does this go? Oh, this underside of this. This. Okay, so this fits behind this part. Okay. Yes, this part doesn't have any pegs, so I feel like maybe I need to glue it completely. On the back, so it shouldn't be sliding. Oh, it's so weird. Why not make it fit a peg? This would fit here, but again, it's very loose. Yeah, this looks like a kind of model that really does need stuff to be glued on. Well. And I'm hoping that it will be a little simpler, so... I'm still gonna finish this one on stream, but maybe... I don't know if... we'll be doing the other ones. Oops. I do have the Back to the Future 2 and 3 cars as well. complex they are. Yeah, I'm convinced that this needs to be glued on, so might as well do it already. Just not work it. Yeah, I think I fit it correctly. Evenly spaced. All right. Okay, so does that mean I can fit this on now? Okay. It's this. Okay, I'm kind of worried now, but if this works. Ah, didn't work. Okay, put these first. together. Hope these two fit nicely. Breaking. Okay. Kind of fit together, but yeah, I'm kind of worried that it might fall off. Maybe not. I didn't. Did feel a good click here now this time. Okay. It's working. Ah, never mind. And the glue fell off. Okay. I need to just put some glue here. On the pegs. Almost. Almost had it. And of course they connect. Yeah, that was not enough time for the glue to set, I guess. Get this out of the way. Yeah. Looks like. I'm gonna set it and not mess with it. I mean, I guess it was good that I messed with it because that would test how stable it was. I found out that it was not stable. Now I can. Stay in position, please stay in position. Will they fit together? Okay. Now I'm gonna let it stay there and not touch it. Okay. Now it's in place. Stay there. What about these? Can I work with these already? This one? I don't know about this one. Maybe glue is enough. So tiny. Okay, maybe I'll hit the bigger piece first. This is this. Kind of fit together, don't they? Actually, no. This fits here. Yes. Okay. This would fit here. This. Okay. It's this way. Where does this connect to? Here? Okay. Yeah, I'm not really sure what this peg that broke off is for. Huh. Okay. Gotta don't want to fit already. I might put some glue on these pieces just so they don't be too loose. There are little pegs here. Do fit. Yeah, I might just leave this off. I don't see like a structural point. It's going to be hidden inside, and you won't even see it. Like, why is it there? Why is this there? Doesn't look like it makes a difference whether it's there or not. Put these first or later? Maybe I'll put them all at the same time. Alright. Like this one is already good enough. Each peg, each hole. All right. Moment of truth. In the right place. Come on, no. Come on, stay. Go in there. Now it's falling apart. Okay, now you got it there. I'll glue you first. This way. Oh dear. Hard to make it fit. Is it even the right one? much glue. I can't see the peg anymore. Where is it? Which is the wrong way. Okay. Yeah, I think it was the wrong way. Oh, this is complicated. Glue here too. Alright, let's try this again. This time, connect these to here. Messed up. Fix it. Wait. Get in there. No. I don't know. I like how loose these connections are. They're gonna be holding the tires. They should be a lot more snug. Yeah, you can't really tell. You can't really tell that it's missing this one little wire. It doesn't matter. Okay, I guess we can move on to the wheels. Okay. Is this? Yeah, it says right here, tires do not rotate. So it is not a rollable model. Polycap. Do I need an extra piece or something? What do you mean by poly? Oof. Almost rolled onto a piece. Transparent. Where are the tires? Where are the tires? B3. There should be a B runner with 4 pieces. Oh, here we go. There's a separate plastic. Maybe the tires are rubber, even if they don't roll. Yeah, see? No, they're hard plastic. They're just individually wrapped. Ah, these are the caps, okay. Okay. Ooh. Got a shiny runner, look at metallics details. Cool. What about number B1? Yeah. Oh, this B1. Where's the B3? I much prefer it when the runners have like decals of the numbers that you can see from both sides. This one kind of printed on, so small letters that stick out just a little bit, so it's kind of hard to see here. Okay, H, C. G was one of them. Yeah, G10. I'm gonna need the G. So it comes with these transparent pieces for the fire trails, but they're transparent plastic. They're not tinted. I guess I had to paint them myself to make them look like fire. Oh well. Wasn't planning on using them anyway, but this is still kind of disappointing. G10. $11, $10. Here we go. Oh, this is a more flexible plastic. Means easier to cut, harder to break. Still worried though. Okay. Okay. This should fit under here. This. Yep. Okay, this part had a nice click. It feels secure. Why can't all pieces be like that? Rotate. Don't need this anymore. Where is the beak at? Still looking for it. Still looking for B3. H1, C1, E3. A1, F2. This is I. Wait, is it? Ah, come on! I put it aside. It's right here. It was right here all along. No wonder I wasn't finding it in the box. Eh. Okay. E3. 1. OFR front rear. The rear tires are slightly thicker. 1. Slightly bigger. Never noticed that. Success. Okay. Okay, you got these middle parts that you cut them off. Yeah, these are made of rubber. They're just very hard rubber. Yes. Off, yes. Okay. That was easy. And then this just pops right in. Oh. Nice. And then this poly cap inside. Okay. One wheel done. Is the rear, right? Yes. Why are there 6 wheels? I mean, there are 4 tires, but 6 wheel rims. Well, actually, the wheels are, I think, are the same size. It's just that some of the tires are thinner than the others. Yeah, these two are thinner. These two are thicker. Like the thicker tires on the smaller rims? No. Oh, they're still the bigger rims. Okay. Make sure I don't mix them up. Dust is clinging to the rubber. Well. These are the rear wheels. These two. Might have to glue them on because I don't think they're gonna fit. Okay. Now for the front wheels. think I'm gonna try and let the glue set, but if it still comes off easily, then I switch to super glue. But I think I'm gonna do super glue off stream. Oops. Got a piece running already. Oh dear. Is that always the case when you're building model kits? Part falls on the ground and disappears? Worried about that later. The front wheels are E3, number 3. Get in there. Get back here. What? Okay, now. Now I gotta find the piece that ran away. Oh, never mind. Here it is. It was right between my legs. Fortunate that it didn't reach the floor. Alright. Okay, wheels are done. Kinda worried about attaching them already. Maybe the front ones I can attach safely. What happens? I just put them on without gluing them. Kind of flexible, but I think that's because of the wait, no. What? Oh, it's because the glue part came off, that's why. Yeah, white glue is not working out. Oh well. Wait, this isn't the front? Put the wrong way. What? No wonder. This was supposed to be the rear. I mistook. Oh dear. Oh dear. Now it's all coming apart. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Kind of wanting to avoid that. I didn't want to put the rear wheels on soon. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of how this is structured. I feel like very fragile. Even if I did use regular glue, it's like the whole wheel is only one point of contact. They're not joined two pieces like the front wheel. There's no peg on top. Very weird. Why not? Yeah, I might have to take these apart. It's the other way around. Huh? Yeah, the glue is not even holding this part together. It's still very loose. Yeah, this is not working. Just clean it up and put some super glue on this. All of the pieces. Maybe just super glue on the more pieces that need to be held together. Like the ones holding the wheel together, for example. kind of a mess right now. This from the tire. This from this. There you go. Oh dear. I need my phone flashlight for this. I'm wondering why didn't I hear it hit the ground? Because it didn't hit the ground. Another piece fell off. Okay, well, let's try the front tires this time. And again, they're probably gonna break off, just like the rear ones. Actually, no, they're fine. Look at that. Yeah, the front tires, the front wheels, pretty stable. Don't feel like they're coming off, but these back wheels are really not very secure. Should I go for some super glue? I wonder. Maybe I can still save it. Well, for 3 hours, 3 hours of building, not a lot of progress. Got the undercarriage, I guess, even if it's not entirely attached. Next step would be the panel. But yeah, now I'm kind of worried about parts not fitting together, needing to use dangerous super glue. Like, what if I super glue the wrong piece together? Not quite as easy to fix. got this part. Got this part done today. Yeah, maybe I'll end it here for now. See if I can do the rest. Stream. Yeah, maybe I'll leave it. Maybe I'll delay because I do have one big tub, I guess, one big flask of super glue, but it's kind of a really strong one. So maybe I'll leave this for later. I'll leave this for when I get one of those tiny bits of super glue that's maybe not as strong as the one that I have right now. Yeah. Maybe it will be a while before I continue this build. It turns out a little bit more complex than I thought. Even the decals, the stickers are more complex than I thought. I thought it would be just stuff you can peel it off and place it, but nope. One of those darn water ones that I can never get it right. Oh well. Last time I had a model that had water decals, I just left the water decals off. I just didn't want to go through the trouble. Okay. Hey, I also have 2 more of these cars, so I might as well get used to this level of building, I guess. But yeah, hope you enjoyed my ramblings about Back to the Future movie. I do have also some theories about how time travel works with the second and third movies. So maybe one day I'll get to making the cars for the DeLoreans for the part 2 and part 3. And then I'll discuss those theories then. But yeah, for now I think that this is it. Yeah. You like these kind of, I guess, retro style things? Either retro games or retro movies like this one. I mean, this is a pretty old school movie, I guess, from people who grew up, people my age. If you like this kind of content, make sure to follow the channel. Subscribe, check out my YouTube channel. This is mostly a retro gaming channel, but sometimes I do these kinds of builds. Maybe I'll do another build. I do have other models. Maybe I'll do the other model before continuing the DeLorean. If I have if I can get my hands on smaller super glue flask container. And yeah, it's mostly a retro gaming channel, so yeah, next stream we'll be continuing on some more old school games. But every now and then I do want to do this kind of model kit building and discussing topics related to the model kit every now and then. But yeah, hope you had fun. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye.